Once upon a time, there was a beautiful garden hidden away in the depths of a dense forest. It was a secret garden, known only to a select few who had stumbled upon it by chance. The garden was a magical place, full of brightly colored flowers, fruit trees, and a sparkling waterfall that cascaded down into a crystal-clear pool. The garden had been created by a group of skilled gardeners who had spent many years perfecting their craft. They had created a peaceful and tranquil haven, far from the noise and bustle of the outside world. The garden was a place where one could escape from the stresses and strains of daily life and find a moment of peace and tranquility. The entrance to the garden was hidden away behind a waterfall, and only those who knew the secret could find it. Once inside, visitors were greeted by the sight of a lush green paradise, with winding paths that led through the flowers and fruit trees. The garden was so large that one could spend hours exploring its many nooks and crannies, discovering new wonders around every corner. The garden was tended by a group of skilled gardeners who had devoted their lives to its care. They worked tirelessly, planting new flowers, pruning trees, and ensuring that every inch of the garden was perfect. They were a secretive group, rarely seen outside the garden walls, but those who knew them spoke of them in reverential tones. Despite its beauty, the garden was not without its dangers. Hidden among the flowers and trees were dangerous creatures, ready to strike at any moment. The gardeners had trained themselves to be aware of these dangers, and they were always on the lookout for any signs of trouble. One day, a young woman stumbled upon the garden by accident. She was wandering through the forest, lost and alone, when she heard the sound of the waterfall and followed it to its source. She was amazed by the sight of the garden, and she spent hours exploring its many wonders. As she wandered through the garden, she came across a group of gardeners who were working on a patch of flowers. They were surprised to see her, and they asked her how she had found her way inside. She told them her story, and they listened with interest. The gardeners were hesitant to allow the young woman to stay, as the garden was meant to be a secret place. But she was so enthralled by the beauty of the garden that they eventually relented and allowed her to stay for a while. Over the next few days, the young woman explored every corner of the garden, learning its secrets and marveling at its beauty. She became close friends with the gardeners, who taught her the ways of the garden and shared their knowledge with her. As the days passed, the young woman realized that she could not stay in the garden forever. She knew that she had to return to the outside world, but she also knew that she would never forget the beauty and wonder of the secret garden. And so, with a heavy heart, she said goodbye to the gardeners and made her way back through the waterfall and into the forest. But she knew that she would always carry a piece of the secret garden with her, and that it would always hold a special place in her heart.